Today, we can declare yet another victory for silver as we anticipate what could be an absolutely amazing second record for silver, measured in a different way. I'll explain what that means in this video as we explore. Silver prices have actually pulled back from a pretty substantial gain here today. Silver reached over $51 an ounce. But as they pull back, it is still trading above $50 an ounce moments before the markets close. We'll get into that in a moment. But first, I want to remind you, channel sponsor Summit Metals, a fast-growing precious metals company that is really making themselves known in the community for great customer service and fast shipping. So check them out. The link is in the description below. So what's going on with the markets today? Why did silver go up and gold as well? Well, it's because of some data that were released. As new economic data has changed the calculus now for what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And gold prices rose from a one-week low on Tuesday, supported by soft U.S. economic numbers, while investors assess the likelihood of a Federal Reserve interest rate cut in December ahead of more delayed U.S. data releases that are coming this week. Spot gold was up after hitting its lowest since November 10th. Earlier in the session, U.S. gold futures for December delivery had fallen. But data that was released today showed that the number of Americans receiving unemployment benefits stood at a 2-month high in mid-October, with continued claims for jobless benefits rising to 1.9 million in the week ending October the 18th. The data are slightly boosting market hopes for a December rate cut. This is helping gold and silver, which are trying to break the 3-day losing streak, according to Tai Wong, an independent metals trader. Markets now see a 50% chance for a rate cut at the December meeting, up from 46% earlier in the day, but lower than 67% last week. And I think we're going to see that number increase. In fact, right now, as I record this video, it's actually sitting at 48.9%. So it's almost split here. So it could go either way, and that could have a pretty big impact on gold and silver prices as these numbers solidify in one direction or another. Gold, which is a non-yielding asset, tends to do well when interest rates are lower. Prices fell over 3% on Friday and 1% on Monday as investors scaled back bets on another interest rate cut this year. Markets now await the minutes from the Fed's last meeting. That's going to be due tomorrow on Wednesday, and September jobs data on Thursday, both delayed due to the U.S. government shutdown. Elevated official demand for gold is expected to continue for the foreseeable future, according to Reuters, supporting a strategically bullish bias and upside to the average price forecast of $4,000 an ounce for next year, according to an analyst at Deutsche Bank. So that's where the market stands here, is what's going on. This Fed Watch tool, is really giving us more precise numbers as to what's going to be happening here. Almost 49% and 51.1% that believe that rates will remain exactly where they're at right now. It'll be fascinating to see how that plays out. But nonetheless, as we see silver prices now up 1%, up 52 cents to $50.76 an ounce, and the bid price is $50.64. Pretty much staying pretty even keel with a 12-cent difference, that spread between bid and ask price. That's a 1% increase, doubling gold's performance today, which is just a 0.5 percentage point increase, up $20.10 to $4,066.60. Its high today was at $4,083. That means that gold to silver ratio has narrowed, still above 80, but only barely. It's at 80.28 right now. And so that means that really, in a sense, that the silver and gold in relation to each other, you can see the volatility moving where silver is more volatile than gold right now. But fascinating moves indeed. Silver likely will close above $50 an ounce again. And that's where we get to our record. That's right. What kind of record are we looking for? Well, the number of days that silver stays above $50 an ounce. very interesting. Some research done found out that, looking back in January of 1980, silver prices surged dramatically, but never closed above $50 an ounce, with the peak closing price reaching $49.45. Now, obviously, when adjusted for inflation, that's well over $210 today. But intraday highs may have briefly touched or exceeded $50 during that volatile period, but it was extremely short-lived, likely hours or a single day at most. In 2011, silver approached $50 an ounce, but never surpassed it, with a high of around $49.79. So in all actuality, in reality, for any extended period of time, 2025 is a year for silver. For the first time, it surpassed $50 an ounce. And by the way, adjusted for inflation, that silver price in 2011 would be about $73 today. But now, officially, silver prices are above $50 an ounce. And they first surpassed $50 around on October the 9th, or around there, marking a new all-time high that eventually reached $54.47 later in that month. In fact, I think it was October 17th, and I believe it was $54.50. But however, it has fluctuated since then based off of daily closing prices. Now, that's the first of the double top, the double top that we saw, where it reached very close to that, about $54.40 here this month. It stayed above $50 for 9 consecutive trading days from October 12th to October 20th. Above $50 for 9 trading days. That really, in a sense, is the second record. But could we break that again? That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But I'm hoping for at least another strong, solid week of above $50 an ounce in order to meet that new support that I've been talking about in yesterday's video. Then we saw this month for 7 consecutive trading days from November 10th, and then it stopped on November the 16th. So we didn't quite beat it here recently because we did get a day where it dropped below $50 an ounce for an amount of time. In fact, it did see that on the 17th of November, it did fall and during that time period. But as of now, today, November the 18th, it is back above $50 an ounce again. And so there we are. So we're at that, and we're seeing it trade above $50 an ounce again today. So we'll see. But that adds up to a total of 17 trading days above $50 since early October 2025. And so that in a sense, we've already beaten the record when we're seeing 17 trading days above it, just not consecutive. And it has dipped below multiple times due to market volatility. And we could see more of that. The longest streak so far this year is those 9 days that we saw in October. But we're coming off this double top. $50 is a crucial number. It's a number we're looking at for support. If we can see more and more of that with the volatility, the volume of trading during those times, we can see it trade above that. I know in my poll that I had on my Sunday night market watch, which I hope you would join me for. Every Sunday night we do watch the markets as they open up in the Asian markets, and we track the prices there and see what's going on with silver. But in there, I gave a poll about if we would see silver reach above $54 an ounce by Friday, or reach it. And 63% of you thought it would after about, I don't know how many, 700 participants in that poll. So it'll be very interesting to see if we can get there. But I would like to see silver close this Friday above $50 an ounce. I think that would be a great victory because it would bring another streak of a number of consecutive days closing above $50 an ounce. So that's what I'm hoping for. And why am I hoping for this? That we can maybe break even longer than 9 days to break yet another record for silver, is because that would solidify some support here for silver. And I'm watching these markets move closer to the trade. Silver's picking up yet again here. So I think this is pretty remarkable to see that everybody's getting more comfortable with $50 silver. And leading to some people in the comments section of my video saying $50 is the new support. I'm not there yet. I still think we could see some moves to the downside. In fact, I still believe that probably likely that support is going to be somewhere around $40 an ounce in the worst case scenario at this point in time. And I know some people might think that sounds crazy, but remember, even if we do get there, we can still declare victory because silver is really forming a new pattern here, and a new reality for silver is something that we could have only dreamed of a couple of years ago, and maybe even a couple of months ago, just to some extent. So we're doing very well with silver, no question about it, especially if you're dollar cost average and you've been stacking for any length of time. But there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are about silver and the potential for it to reach yet a new record here. So with that being said, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.